welcome to another video for our generic NFL stuff. I've also started putting this in our generic sports talk. Just there's a couple playlists that you can find this on. So anyway, today this. So you might consider this our part two to my media rant I did a while ago, a few months ago, but it's not. I want to talk about specifically the Buffalo Bills. For the last few years, Josh Allen and the Bills have been the media darlings, the betting favorites, the media betting favorites, whatever you want to call them. They want to be. They have been. As far as the media is concerned, and this was part of that media rant. I'm just taking one aspect from that and making it a video of its in and of itself. But the NFL media over the last several years, particularly the last 2 or 3, as Mahomes has kind of struggled with statistically, and particularly this last season as the Chiefs had 6-11. Had a 6-11 season, so how do I say this? I have lost faith in Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Let me be clear. I think Josh Allen is a good quarterback. Overall, the Bills have some good players. I just have lost faith in this pairing in particular, and most of it's due to this last postseason. But just let me again. I do this all the time. I organize my thoughts as I'm talking, so it's give me a few minutes as I appear to buffer. But this last postseason gave us the clearest indicator, in my opinion, as to what the Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills are as a team. And that is, they are a great regular season performer. They are a great team together as the regular season. I told Nathan this last season that the Chiefs lost. One of the Chiefs' losses was to the Bills. And I told Nathan, "Hey, it's our annual sacrificial loss to the Bills. Of hey, we beat them hey, they beat us in the regular season. We beat them in the postseason. You know, it's concerning as a fan of the NFL and as a fan of players. It's concerning that." Josh Allen, one of the greatest, one of the most talented quarterbacks in this era, has had success in getting to the AFC Championship, and has success getting to the playoffs, getting to the getting to the AFC Championship, getting to round 2 of the playoffs, but falling in round 2 or 3 to Mahomes, to Lamar, to I think he's lost to Burrow at one point, and now he's lost to an up and coming New England team. If I remember how that happened right. If I'm wrong, comment down below. But this last postseason loss was the most concerning to me. So for a long, in my conversations with one of my friends, for the longest time, the Big Four in the AFC, and again, and I'd say the Big Four in the NFL in general, over the last 5 or so years, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Essentially, it's been about 5 years. I'm confident in that. But over the last 5 years or so, the Big Four have been Mahomes, as far as quarterbacks go. It's Mahomes, Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow. So you are one of the big four quarterbacks in the league, um, and in your conference, and you have never been to a Super Bowl. Mahomes and Joe Burrow have been to at least one each. Mahomes is the only one in the big four to have been to a Super Bowl and won at least one. Again, Burrow appeared in a Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson has won multiple MVPs. Josh just won his first MVP. Joe Burrow has been, over the last 3 or 4 years in particular, Joe Burrow has been Joe Burrow has been in the category of if he didn't get injured, he would have won an MVP by now. And we'll see this upcoming season if Joe Burrow stays healthy. We'll see if he gets an MVP or not. If you're Josh Allen, you have 3 other QBs that have done at the very least accomplished as much as you've accomplished. 2 of them even more, because 2 of them have at least been to the Super Bowl. One of them has won multiple Super Bowls. One of them has won a Super Bowl and has been to a Super Bowl. And granted, he hasn't won an MVP yet. But again, over the last 2 years, I'd say if Burrow had been healthy, he would have probably won one of those MVPs. I don't know if he would have beat Stafford or if he would have beat Josh Allen. That can be up for debate. But the ultimate. So let me be clear, y'all. I don't blame Josh Allen for losing to Mahomes, and I'm gonna say something, and then I'm gonna make a video on it later. I don't know when later is, but I'll make a video on it later and explain why I'm saying Mahomes is the guy. And yes, despite the bad stats the last couple of years, despite losing the Super Bowl and then not making a Super Bowl, yes, Mahomes is still the guy. Why? Because he has 3 rings. Again, I'll make a video on that, expanding on it later on. I don't know when that'll be released or when that'll be released. Let's just leave it. I don't know when it'll be released, but so I don't blame Josh Allen for losing to Mahomes as the guy, because Mahomes is the guy. You saw guys like Manning, Rodgers, Favre. Well, Manning, Rodgers, Roethlisberger, Big Ben. You saw the guys during Tom Brady's 20-year reign of terror, whatever you want to call it, during the dark times, to quote Star Wars. You saw guys that were, yes, they were better statistically. Yes, they were might have been at or above his level of talent. But you saw guys lose to Brady all the time, whether it was Super Bowls, whether that was AFC championships, playoff games before the championship round. You saw guys lose to Tom Brady because Tom Brady was the guy. And you can go back to Joe Montana. You can go back to guys like John Elway, Terry Bradshaw. If you go back to every era of the NFL always has had that one quarterback that was the guy. That was just, okay, as once it gets to the playoffs, a switch is flipped. Good luck beating him. But that's understandable. If you're just sitting there, oh my gosh, every time I get into the playoffs, I'm losing. I keep going up against the guy, and I keep losing, and people are blaming me for it. But like I said, this last postseason was the most concerning to me because of the other 3 of the Big Four weren't there. You lost to Burrow in the playoffs at least once, if I remember correctly. Oh, hold on. You lost to You've lost to Mahomes several times in the playoffs. Lamar Jackson, again, that quarterback that is at your talent level, at the very least, and it was a toss-up whether you would win or lose. Those three guys were gone, and particularly Mahomes was gone. So you had the clearest path to the Super Bowl in your career this last postseason, and you still couldn't get done. This last postseason for me was more of an if not now when type of postseason, because you didn't have Lamar and Joe there to be in your way to exhaust your team, so you didn't have to worry about beating Mahomes. You didn't have Mahomes there himself, the boogeyman, the big bad. You didn't have him there to slow your roll. You were there, and everybody was talking about, hey, if you're not in the Super Bowl, it's the Rams, and neither team made it. All that to say, Josh Allen and the Bills, I wouldn't be surprised if again after this season, after this season, they get something. That something big happens, whether that's a trade for Josh Allen, whether that's something else. I'm going to end it there. I will see you guys later.